I wonder what he's thinking about. I bet he's thinking about other girls.
What classes don't they have on Skillshare? I feel like they've covered everything. Photography, videography, illustration, exercise, social media, After Effects. It's so cool to have an online community with other creatives.
I bet her name's Jennifer. Now I hate Jennifer.
Welcome, folks. I am Jaby Koay, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
This is one I've been wanting to watch for a while. Batman, Dying is Easy. This is from Bat in the Sun, the YouTube channel.
I wonder what he's thinking about. I bet he's thinking about other girls.
The first 1,000 people who click on the link in the description below get a free trial of Skillshare. But what if 2 people are the 1,000th person to click? Do they both get a free trial? Does the Skillshare fairy spin a roulette to decide?
I wonder if it's Donna. Definitely Donna. I'm coming for you, Donna.
Cool logo.
Wheels.
Yeah, the detail on it's really nice. Whoa. This looks really good already. Wow.
Hey!
Oh!
Police on the 3 missing police officers. The commissioner had this to say.
I got the best people working on it, but the trail's run cold.
The district attorney has launched multiple investigations with no results. Every night this group of Gotham citizens have taken to the streets of candlelight vigil in hopes they will find them.
That's my friend, for those of you guys that don't know.
Please contact.
You enjoy stealing innocence. You get off on it.
After chocolate and cream cake, the girls, my Alice's, seem to enjoy it.
Never again.
Please don't leave me here. Please. Please.
That's a big Batman.
I know.
God.
Like, oh. He's, yeah, very big.
Then you for a briefing.
Hey, give me a minute, would you?
Is that? No way!
Oh, wow.
Bullet. What do you want?
Hey, you showed up. How's it hanging there, Bats?
I don't have any time for your lack of candor, Bullock. Talk.
You think I enjoy coming up here in the middle of the night? Freezing my butt off. Just because Gordon's in the hospital. I got real cases. Got actual things to do. 3 of my men are missing, and you know what? I'm gonna find out where they are, one way or another. I don't really have a lot of extra time to babysit freak in a cape, flying around the city pretending to be a superhero. You know, just because Gordon respects you doesn't mean I have to, right?
It goes both ways.
Listen, you know what? I have some good news for you. The pasty-faced clown is, dying.
Anything else?
Well, he's demanding to see you, of course. You guys, spent most of your life together, right? I thought maybe you'd be excited. There'd be a little celebration from your side of things. No, as far as I'm concerned, one of you madness dwellers is getting exactly what you deserve.
Death of the Joker, nothing to celebrate.
All I'm saying is that somebody should have pulled the trigger on him a long time ago.
Well, you're the one with a gun and a license to kill.
Yeah. But don't tempt me there, Matt.
Yeah, do it. And you'll see exactly how deep this well of madness can run.
Excuse me. Listen, I thought I told you to give me a minute.
Gone.
Anyway. Hey, Bats!
Hugo, I'm on my way. Transfer Joker from his cell to the recreation room.
I see you spoke to Lieutenant Bullock. I would have reached out to you personally, but I have no way of contacting you directly.
As it should be.
Was there tape on his mustache?
Yeah, it was his straw. Broad-shouldered, eh?
Good evening to all. This is Dr. Hugo Strange. This announcement is regarding tonight's schedule. Due to a code B27, dinner and all night activities will be delayed until further notice. Mandatory lockdown is in effect. Staff on sub-level 6, please be extra cautious. That is all.
We don't need this. It belongs to you, but everyone else uses it.
Wow.
Did you miss me? We hope you've gotten all my love letters.
That's Amy.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
He walked right past you. That's another man American who doesn't respect you.
God damn.
Nobody likes him here.
Well, he put them all away.
I know.
Now there. Watch the fingers. Kinky. I like it. Yes, get these off of me.
Not a good idea.
It's all yours.
An increasingly dangerous situation.
This moment, it was supposed to take place on the Gotham Bridge, or the old water reserve, or Jerry's abandoned circus, televised for millions to see. It wasn't supposed to end like this.
What do you want?
I'm dying. melanoma.
Well, I guess that acid bath wasn't too funny, was it?
The night we first met. With all my close calls, skin cancer, the humor is not lost on me. I guess dying is easy.
Yeah, and comedy is hard. Why am I here?
That's a great question. I want you to finish what you started. I want you, Batsy, to kill me, not the cancer. Our legacy is too grand to end with a whimper. It must be epic. It must be gut-wrenching. You have nothing to say. I just told you that I'm dying. This is it, the final confrontation after all we've been through. This is our final soliloquy.
I don't care about our legacy.
You're a coward. You won't kill me because you're afraid. Not because of some high moral code or your one rule. It's because without me, you can't justify your own existence.
You're right. I am afraid. I'm afraid of myself. That once I murder, I'll like the taste of it. And then I'll kill every single inmate at Arkham Asylum. But you need me. Freeze has Nora. Poison Ivy has her environmental cause. Riddler has his puzzles. But you have nothing. Without me, you become your worst fear. And that's being upstaged by everyone here.
I am the king of this asylum. See my crown? It sparkles in the bitter glow of twilight. See, Batsy, I am the one thing that you are not. You've spent your whole life fighting crime, night after night. Dead sidekick after dead sidekick. And for what? You're utterly miserable. Afraid of the one thing that could possibly bring you joy. See, I am completely and genuinely happy. I wake up every morning with a great big smile. I absolutely love my life. But you absolutely hate yours. I've often wondered, where were you when the boy laid bleeding out on the floor in that dusty warehouse? Where were you? True, presenting him to me was a stroke of genius, masterful in your story writing. And I have to give the boy credit. He knew how to sell it. His firm, muscular body, breaking under the weight of my lead crowbar. Do you know what his last words were? With his last breath, what he said. He said your name over and over again. I would give anything to hear the boy scream your name one last time. Did I hit a nerve? Ouch. Well, I digress. Moving on.
Conversation with God next to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
So photogenic. So young. Do you know what I remember most about this night? It was her hair. It smelled like lavender.
justice.
Then finish it. Do what everyone wants. Just kill me.
I'm not an executioner.
Just an indirect one, Betsy. I can never measure up to your death toll. Yours is the accumulation of everyone in this asylum. Half the tombstones in Gotham are because of you. That's your legacy.
Enough!
Going for it.
How many people would still be alive if you had died years ago? Robin would have a little flock of his own. And Barbara, her dreams shattered like her spine.
You say that you're king around here, but all I hear is the same old song and dance. You're no longer relevant. When's the last time that you've been in the news? Croc, Ivy, Freeze. Even Condiment King have had their headlines. What have you done?
Let me unveil the curtain, Betsy. You know those 3 missing police officers? I killed them.
What?
How?
I gutted them and left them to rot at O'Neill's Toyland. I can't tell you how much of a joy it's been to watch in secret as Gotham's torn itself apart.
He's got a weapon now.
Oracle, did you get all that?
Loud and clear. O'Neill's Toyland. I'm sending the info to GCPD now.
You're so predictable. I knew that if I worked you up, you'd lose your focus.
Worked up. I'm dying.
Are you?
What are you talking about?
I faked your toxicology report, along with your blood samples.
Look at me.
I'm sick. I've been poisoning your water supply for weeks. I knew that if you thought that you were dying, then you'd play your cards out to try to impress me. I discovered that one of Jervis's thugs had possession of a police baton. It was registered to one of the missing police officers. I found 3 sets of fingerprints, and one of them was yours.
You lied to me. You lied when you said you don't care about me, but you do. You've spent weeks planning and preparing this, so we could have another awe-inspiring performance. I must say, Betsy, bravo, bravo.
I guess dying isn't easy.
Is that a joke?
Someone come and lock him up.
What about down here, Lieutenant?
All right. Good job. See you guys downtown tomorrow. All right, take it easy. So, you've been playing everyone the whole time, and me included.
You'd have to be real.
Think I was too stupid to sell it?
Those are your words, not mine.
I wish we could have saved the men in time.
Those men were already dead.
Excuse me, what was that? What'd you just say?
I said they were already dead.
You knew they were dead.
Yes.
Then what was all that about? Why did you do all that for them?
I didn't do it for them. I did it for their families. I had to take away hope so their families could heal. It said that the worst thing to come out of Pandora's box were not the sorrows or the plagues. It was hope itself. Hope's a gamble. Hope lacks certainty. And this city knows all too well what hopelessness and pain can do. It drives it mad. Now without hope, maybe the family can start the healing process and move on.
Yeah. I can see why Gordon respects you. I used to think you were too crazy to deal with. But I realize now, underneath that Halloween costume, you're actually not such a bad guy at all. What an asshole.
He's having a little moment and he just disappears.
Bullock was right calling me a madness dweller. Not knowing why or who killed my parents has left me with this endless open wound. An abyss that I stare into every night. It's that lack of closure that's turned me into this monster. A monster that I both fear and embrace. A monster that I call the Batman.
Yay, yay, my fave.
Selena.
I wonder what she's thinking about. I bet it's Skillshare.
I'm gonna Skillshare the frick out of this social media class by Lily Singh. I'm gonna learn the art of storytelling with social media, how to grow my channel, engage with my audience, and get collabs and brand deals. That'll teach him to think about twerky, derpy Linda.
I wonder if I've ever bought milk from the same cow twice.
You're right, that was Amy Johnston. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was obviously Amy Johnston.
I didn't recognize her at first. Casper Van Dien played Commissioner Gordon. I knew it, stunt coordinator. I knew Alfred, I knew that he choreographed it, because as soon as I saw his face, I'm like, there's no way he was part of this just as a stunt dude.
Yeah.
There was no way. I knew that he had choreographed it. Doug Jones was Riddler. Oh my God. He's not, you don't usually see his face, yeah.
You know what, I really like him. I kind of became obsessed with him after Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy. He is just an incredible physical performer.
Yeah.
And I looked into his background and stuff. He trained in France. At the Jacques Lecoq School, if I remember correctly, and that's like one of the best schools you can go to for physical theater. So it totally makes sense.
Well, that was a very, very interesting piece. It was a very interesting concept because it was mostly dealing with the dynamic between Batman and Joker and it being more of a psychological thing,
Yeah.
more than it being an action thing. Like they opened up with action because, it's Batman. But most of it was sort of this, in a way, indirectly detective work. A lot of it happened off screen in leading up to the scene with Joker.
Right, it felt very film noir.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a joke that they got Michael Madsen in there. It's just like, what the hell? Like, how do you? I guess he's just one of those actors. It's like if you give him if you pay him right, he'll do the job.
I know, that was a nice surprise. It was also a nice surprise just seeing a bunch of familiar faces that we knew. Turns out, actually, Aaron, I'm gonna pronounce his name incorrectly, Schoenke is who plays the Joker. He made this. Good on him for realizing this project. Like, they put so much effort into making it look right, sound right. Everything was so spot on. The costumes were really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, the production value was on point there.
The production value was through the roof, like really, really good. You can see that they spent their money really well to make a really polished product. So I think in that regard, you know, he did a really great job.
Yeah, totally. That's a tough gig to be a main character in something and direct it at the same time. And not only that, you're playing the Joker.
Yeah,
who's a very iconic character. That's a tall order to take on. While it wasn't my favorite Joker performance of all time, I got to admire the guy for taking on that role of being one of the most noteworthy characters in comic book history and trying to direct this at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with his brother. Like you said, like the production value of Arkham Asylum, the CGI, you gotta be forgiving of it. It's a low budget thing. It's more of a concept piece. I don't imagine they're making money off of this. For it being that, I thought that was actually pretty cool. Like the Batmobile and the design of Arkham Asylum, the little blimps above Gotham City. It's all very reminiscent of the cartoon.
It's all the attention to detail, right? From like the font to the smoke to just every little thing. Like, you know that they really, really love Batman.
But you have to.
You have to undertake a project like this and to pay attention to all that detail to really make this look fantastic. And I think it's a great calling card for them to go, well, look what we were able to do with this much of a budget. Imagine what we could do if you gave us more money.
Yeah, I mean, it's taking the angle, and I've seen this done before on YouTube a long time ago, before YouTube was even paying its content creators. There was this video I saw a long time ago of this. It was a scene with, I guess, a villain and this dude that he had tied up. It was this long-winded monologue explanation, and there were like cops on the other side of this door waiting to bust through. And he was a supervillain. The entire thing was just him talking with this dude, but it was very, very interesting. And so oftentimes, especially today, comic book movies are mostly action, you know, punches, kicks, and, you know, flying around and explosions and all that stuff. And it's not that often, with the exception of things like the Marvel shows recently. And I haven't, to be fair, I haven't watched a lot of the DC shows. A lot of the Marvel shows as of late have been really deep diving into that character stuff. And so it's not that often that I get to see, you know, DC stuff, with the exception of Joker, the film, which I know you haven't watched, that's diving into that character stuff, that rich character stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of noir, like just in general. It's not my cup of tea. And so for me, it was a little bit like intense. Like 10 the entire time.
A little bit,
It was a bit much for my taste, but I can see a cult following for this particular style of Batman. Batman was written in the 30s or the 40s? I can't remember when Bob Kane wrote it initially, but like it was a long time ago. And so it actually makes sense that you would try to fit it in with noir.
Yeah,
given the era.
And like you were saying, you know, it really works well for this when you have a limited budget and you just want to spend more of your budget on the look, because it shows you, you know, what can be done.
Yeah.
If you just kind of, you know, make sure that it looks right, it sounds right, and all of that, and you just kind of have a little bit of action in the beginning so that it kind of still fits into that genre, but then you can get away with it being more of a character piece, like you were saying, and just having them talk. I kind of wish, though, that some of the dialogue wasn't so expository. I don't know if there was any way around it, though.
It was very Sin City.
Yeah.
It was very, very much like Sin City. I actually wondered if Michael Madsen was actually next to Kevin Porter while doing some of those scenes. I wondered if they just shot Michael Madsen's stuff completely separate and then filled in the other actors later on, which was what Robert Rodriguez did with Sin City. Most likely they didn't do that. But it was cool to see Michael Madsen. I feel like Michael Madsen showed up and just did himself.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there was really any character study of any kind. He's like, what are my lines? All right, let's do it. And he just did it. And he's just such an interesting person to watch that you're like, so what?
Yeah.
It's cool. He's got a very interesting cadence to him. He's kind of like Marlon Brando in that way, where he kind of mumbles his words, but because he's such an interesting character actor, you're like, okay, cool. You just go with it. It was cool to see Amy Johnston.
I thought for a second there, because she was in it and just because like we know her for a lot of her fight stuff, I was like, oh, there's gonna be a fight scene. There's definitely gotta be like an attempted prison escape, and they're gonna do this elaborate fight scene, and then you're gonna get like all of the different baddies fighting each other in Arkham Asylum, but then they didn't do it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine too.
Especially with Amy Johnston in there, like your first assumption is that you're gonna have this big epic action sequence.
Yeah, because she could do it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought it was cool, and I would actually watch more of it. I just hope that he improves upon this and it's not more of the same. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'd like to see what you're talking about, where the dialogue is a little bit more nuanced and layered as opposed to everything just being expository.
Yeah.
And on the surface, because everything was very like on the surface.
Yeah, it was like out of 10 on the surface,
Yeah.
and I think it could have kind of stood to have a little bit more nuance, but overall I thought this was really well done.
I think an easy note as far as the writing goes is that, you know, people aren't always saying exactly what they think. And I think that these characters were saying exactly what they were thinking all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that the conceit is Batman was lying to him, but it was still done in such a way that was the performance was like, there was no change in the performance throughout the entire thing. I mean, particularly for the two main characters, Batman and Joker, like their performance was basically the same start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see a little bit more, I guess, like tactics.
Just, you know,
like, a little
levels.
bit more up and down,
Yeah.
and like doing things to each other with their speech.
But again, you know, a huge applause for taking on doing Joker and, you know, directing duties at the same time.
I can't even imagine, like the Joker is such a difficult character, I think, and that's why anytime someone plays the Joker, everyone is always in awe of them.
Yeah.
And the level of commitment that you have to put into the performance, like you hear stories about people going mad, like Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
So to do that, to take that.
Heath Ledger played the Joker? Your face.
I was like, what?
Your face.
How did you not know that?
You looked at me like so confused. You're like, wait, am I being stupid?
Yeah. I was like, hold on. I know I'm a noob a lot of the time, but I'm pretty sure he got an Oscar, didn't he?
Yes, he did, posthumously.
Posthumously, yeah. But yeah, like that level of commitment that's required for the role, and then the undertaking of directing it all. Like I'm just like so in awe of anyone who's able to direct a project and be in it. I'm like, how do you put those two hats on at the same time?
Ben Affleck was supposed to be Batfleck director and star at one point, so it almost happened.
Right.
Anyways, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and make sure to subscribe to Bat in the Sun's YouTube channel, and subscribe here as well. Hit the bell icon, all notifications, please. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.